Thinking back on how the Good Samaritan started, I have to say it was from a small church called New Beginnings, and the pastor was Pastor Washington. And as we were downtown, changing our lives and speaking out to the people in the town of Phoenixville, they were coming inside the church and they were leaving crack pipes and marijuana and different paraphernalias right on the altar as God was changing their lives. And on the way out, they slightly whispered to us, listen, I have nowhere to sleep. I've been sleeping under the bridge. Yet we found out how many homeless people were yet here in Phoenixville. And as we started passing the hat and putting people up in the hotel, we realized that it was a financial hard way for a very new church. As we started putting people up, we realized it was a hard way. And what we did was one morning, I'll never forget it, Pastor Washington walked into church one Sunday morning and he said God gave him a vision to open a shelter called the Good Samaritan Shelter right here in Phoenixville. And we couldn't believe it. Now, as a new church, we realized we didn't have any money, we didn't have any credit, and we didn't have any knowledge on how to run a shelter. But all we had was a vision from God. With that vision, we talked to the local pastors, and they got behind us, and we realized we needed a few things. One was money, and we needed a building, and we needed some know-how. And what we did was we went to the local bank, which was a new bank at that time, called New Century Bank. I'll never forget it. Jim McKeegan was the bank manager. We walked into the bank, and Pastor Washington said to him that there's a need right here in town. God gave him a vision that we are to help the homeless people, and we are to open up a shelter here. And we need $50,000 to purchase a house. Well, Jim McKeegan, lo and behold, we did not realize, he said, I'm a believer also. And he said God spoke to his heart, saying that he was to help someone, and someone in need needed his help. So as the bank manager, he listened to God and gave us $50,000 without any credit, without any down money, without any experience, but he hearkened to the word of God. We all scheduled to open 2002. June of 2002, we were scheduled to open. And what happened was we realized we were a little short on money. And we came to a decision that we were going to have to delay the opening. We had a big town meeting for anyone that would come. And what happened was we had this meeting, and I'll never forget it. Wheezy Baker from Baker's Industry. She came to the meeting, and she was one of the ones there, and she said, listen, if you wait till you have enough money to open, she said, you'll never open. She said, number two, this is a Christian organization, right? And we looked at each other and said, yes. She said, well, we walk by faith, not by sight. She said, if God brought you to it, he'll bring you through it. Well, needless to say, June of 2002, we opened the doors, and we have not closed since.